Hey there, it's Pete over at the Sampleist, and today we are checking out Salu by Orchestral Tools. This 89GB Sonar compressed library is all about close, intimate and detailed soundscapes. However, there are plenty of playable instruments in this library as well. It's recorded at the Arvo Pärt Centre in Estonia, and of course the Tallinn library was recorded at Tallinn in Estonia. However, this is not a follow-up, this is a standalone library full of lots of different instruments and just an amazing amount of articulations. The Salu library will cost you €399 plus VAT where applicable, and I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Orchestral Tools for sending over a license for this video. At the Sampleist, it's all about how do we use these in our compositions and what is that experience like. So obviously we're going to check out the instruments and see what they sound like, but then we're going to throw them into a real world composing scenario and see how they perform there. So without further ado, let's jump in and take a look at these instruments. Salu runs in the free Orchestral Tools SINE player, and Orchestral Tools have stated you must update to the latest version for Salu to work. You can see it's categorized into 5 folders. You've got strings, voices, plucked in keys, percussion and process. And it's such a huge library, I cannot play everything, so I'm going to just pick out some playable instruments and then more of our weird and wonderful and experimental sounds. I say weird, it's not a bad thing. I just love the sounds contained into this library. And I'm well aware that you can put lots of different articulations and stack them up and switch between them, but part of the fun is just jumping in and playing random articulations from each instrument. So that's what we're going to do. Now, let's go to the playable instrument, sustains and legato for the string quartet. The first thing that hits me is that amazing room sound. It just sounds so ambient, like you are in the Arvo Pärt Centre, because obviously you are, because it's recorded there. Sounds incredible. Now let's listen to the octave sustains just to make it a bit wider. And I love how responsive the mod wheel is, and when you play through the library, always use the mod wheel because there are lots of different assignments to different instruments. Sounds absolutely brilliant. Then you've got some more traditional articulations. Let's go spiccato. Spiccato. Really well used. Just going to turn that up a bit so I'm not hammering. So you sound great. I use a cello one in the upcoming composition, and yeah, brilliant. And let's just go pizzicato. Okay, I'm just going to bring it up slightly. And you can hear you got that room sound, but there's not loads of decay going on. Absolutely love it. And then we go on to our slightly more daring, shall we say, articulations. So irregular flybys. Absolutely love it. Let's go irregular repetitions. And these just really add that human quality because they are based on actual performances. It's not MIDI driven. So again, if you had to recreate this using traditional libraries, you'd really, really struggle. But this sounds gorgeous, just so fragmented. Absolutely love it. And then you've got some arpeggios. Let's just go minor. And of course, you can tempo map these to your project, or tempo match, sorry. So if you use a TM articulation, I believe that's going to be tempo mapping. However, tempo match, sorry. But it could be Time Machine. But I'm going back to the Capsule days in Contact. So yeah, it's going to be tempo match. Yeah, so really, really cool. Now, let's just go and have a quick look at the solo viola. And again, we'll start off with a playable. Sounds gorgeous. I love the circular bowing. Again, it's experimental, but also usable. And let's go to the cello. Love the cello. Let's do something a little bit different. In fact, we'll just go... Hear the legato again first. And I fell off my keyboard. So it sounds stunning. Let's go for drops fifth. Play too high. I'll do the minor second. It's just a lot of fun. So that's the strings. They sound great. The voices are brilliant, and I love the Tallinn library. I have it up there. Use it a lot. Did a whole album with it, and this is just haunting in terms of the sounds. So it can get quite loud. That's easy to control with your playing. The pads are absolutely stunning. So they sound gorgeous. Let's do the Ez. And then you've got some syllables as well. So let's go with some shorts. And then we have some long ones. And then I love the humming. Here's a crescendo. Sounds awesome. Let's go that one. And they have long swells. Then we've got the special articulations. Again, really, really cool. Let's go irregular primes, English. Really cool. And let's just go a regular tick-tock. Turn up a bit. I mean, how cool is that? It's just, yeah. Again, it's one of those libraries where it just so frequently, I can't say it, frequently will put a smile on your face. And they got the same for the male articulations. If I was play the sustains so we can hear what they sound like. Can bring that down. They just sound ace. Let's go jump into the special articulations. We'll do a cluster pad cascade. Brilliant. And then we have solos and solo alto and a solo basso or basso, alto and bass. Let's just hear the alto on its own. And of course, as I just did, you can increase the range. You don't want to go too far in case they start to sound a little bit too stretchy, but it's a really cool feature of the SINE player. So you have like the sampled range, and then if you need to, you can go above it, which is cool. Now, I'll do one more. Irregular syllables. One. So much fun. And then we have the bass. I'll play the legato again. And then let's just do a fun articulation, irregular overtones. Brilliant. I'll actually use that in my spaghetti western music. They've got the plucked and keys. Now you see you've got the canal, harp and piano. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hope so. And then each of them are solos as well. So if we just have sustains, these are like, so they're like plucked instruments. Now it's a little bit too loud, so I'm just going to bring that down. So very, very playable. Now, if I just remove that and just do some swells, I'm going to bring it down. And the balance of this library is really, really good when you're using it. So they sound gorgeous. And then you got each instrument as a solo. Let's get the solo harp up. And of course, different articulations on each of these, regular repetitions. And then we have the solo piano, and I love this piano. Forget about the fact it's in amongst lots of other instruments. Just as a piano, it sounds amazing. I just got the wrong pedal there. It is a stunning piano. In fact, it's now one of my go-to pianos. And then percussion, you've got plenty of tuned percussion. If I go hard mallets, so the tubular bells sound great, very, very playable. And then we got the glockenspiel and crotals. Let's play an example of these. Really, really cool. Obviously, you can just play these as playable instruments. They sound cool. And then they're separated, but these are textures. So lots of bowing going on. Very, very useful. Let's just do the single bows. Then we've got a vibraphone. Let's do single hits random. And some chimes. We're going to do hard mallets. Love the effects. Thunder sheet. Rubber ball. Love that kind of stuff. Tam tam. Let's do some brush effects. Okay, the Grand Casa. Let's go close these up. Let's do some single hits. Timpani. Absolutely love these. Let's do the bowls on the timpani. It's a lot more experimental, and then wind gong. And we hear that bowed. Nice. Then the last folder is all about being processed. Not being processed, about processing the sounds. We're not going to process you. And these are just brilliant soundscapes. So if I go flickering lights. I think there's 71 of these. All in different categories. So these are the icy ones. Interception. Let's play Counting Leaves from Evolving. So cool. Let's do a dream state. Voices from the Fog, why not? So again, the mod wheel is really, really responsive. and transforms the sound. Let's go friction builds, and this is from the tense category. I mean, it is tense. I'll give him that. The old ones from Dark. Absolutely incredible. And let's go Fractured Ball. This is from Plux. Beautiful. So that is a quick overview of the instruments and what you can expect to find, but there is so much going on in this library. It's just lots of fun working through it and yeah, just being surprised. Now what we're going to do is put all these into a composition, and we're going to see and hear how it is to compose with Salu. We're going to jump into the composition now and talk about how easy it is to compose with Salu. There are so many detailed instruments and textures and experimental sounds to work with. You can spend hours and hours and hours just building up these amazing soundscapes. For me, though, the cornerstone is this gorgeous piano. It is just absolutely stunning. So I know I played it earlier in the video, but it is fantastic to work with. Now to start off with the composition, just a standard D minor drone. Big fan of D minor. If you've seen some of the videos, yeah. So it's a case of choosing textures and instruments that will kind of work with the piano. So if I take the piano out and just play the voices from the dark and the irregular crescendo from the female vocals, you can hear it's got kind of like a sort of bendy effect. So you're never short of movement. And then obviously when you've got the sort of diatonic piano going on, it just works really, really well. Now we've got the wind chimes. The wind chimes are awesome. Now if you bring the mod wheel up, you're going to get more repetitions and it's going to get a bit stronger. And combined with the pads, it just creates that amazing texture. And then I added the canal harp and piano irregular articulation, and it just has this sort of a bit of chaos. And then just ending that with a timpani cymbal bow. Just notice I've spelt cymbal wrong. Oh well. Now that creates like the backbone, but the piano part, especially here, some amazing MIDI overlapping going on, but the piano just really carries it. And in terms of playing the piano in, it's really, really responsive. If I go into the MIDI very, very quickly, you can see none of it's on the grid. I did play it all in. I do use the percentage soft quantize option in Cubase all the time. It's around 60%, but you just want that human feel. You don't want anything on the grid. But it's really, really fun to play, and it sort of brings in that theme. So that's really nice. Now that section together, it's just got a kind of like an awkward chord progression. we have the solo piano going on. I've increased the tempo here. Now there is a slight amount of release sample going on, or release sampling. So it doesn't stop exactly on the end of the bar or at the start of the next one, and I kind of like that. Now there's a couple of ways around that. You can just stop the sample or your MIDI a little bit before, like I have there, or on the wind chimes. If I show automation, I've just automated a dead stop, so it has actually got a bit of a click going on. So I probably would have done something a bit more like that. There you go, to fade out. But this is the little tweaks you make as you mix. So let's just hide that. Now we've got a solo piano, and then we have the next section, and we have the cello spiccato. Now, when I record the demo, Cubase did crash. It was nothing to do with the instrument. It was actually Restream, and I did have everything labeled up correctly, but this one isn't. So a good little trick is if you highlight the name and then hold down Shift and press Return, you'll notice that the box of MIDI, or the MIDI track, will change as well, and it will change for every bit of MIDI that's on there. So handy little hint there. Right then, the cello spiccato, absolutely amazing. So of course, Orchestral Tools are renowned for their amazing orchestral sampling, and this is no exception. The strings are absolutely phenomenal in this library, but again, they're not strings like Berlin strings would be, or from any of the Arcs or Berlin Inspire. It's more sort of textural, detailed, close, experimental, and yeah, they just sound brilliant. But to go with the piano part, just creates a really awesome accent. And then the other highlight for me are the Glock and crotales, and I absolutely love, I think in Modus there are tune percussion, the glockenspiel, I use it all the time, and also the Berlin Inspire tuned percussions, and these again are no exception. They've got some kind of strange quality going on, like in a really, really good way. Again, it's probably the detail, but if I was play these isolated, just going to bring them up. I just love how close they are, and you can see sorry, at this part here, the MIDI stops, and there's no sort of incredible delay or release. It just kind of stops dead. Oops. Absolutely love it, and they're so responsive. In terms of the velocities I'm playing, it's quite a mixed bag, but yeah, really, really cool. Now, to put all that together, you've got a really awesome, quite an interesting section. got the trio of instruments sort of being irregular there, and the male ensemble just oohing away. Or uhing away. Very, very smooth. In fact, the voices are absolutely wicked on this library. And I mean wicked in a very, very good way. Not that they're evil. If you've ever used the Tallinn or Tallinn library, which I absolutely love, it just, yeah, it has echoes of that all through it. If I just blend these two, male and female ensemble. It's almost like even the sustain patches have some kind of cool effect going on, or some character or some detail. And I see the vocals on this as an extension of the Tallinn library. So yeah, they're absolutely brilliant. Just going back to this Glock line, I did this on purpose. Now this bit, so this is where it cuts off dead, and you'll notice that there is no sound on this note here. And this is what I love about the SINE player. So this G, you can't use it. However, if you just extend, now you can't go too far because it will start to sound out of tune, but I can now get that G playing. So I absolutely love how in the SINE player you can adjust the range of the instrument. You can go really low if you want to, and really high as well. But I've found you don't want to stretch too far because the instruments do become unusable due to pitch. But yeah, really, really clever. Love it. Now we've got our last section. So this is the other thing about this library. You can spend hours and hours and hours just finding different sounds and playing around with it. And I've brought back a couple of other instruments. I've added some dripstones and then just got another ending. But again, we've got our piano section. And then the cello is emphasizing. So there's a couple of things going on. It's quite fun just to layer instruments in as you hear them. There's like a crescendo. So on the mod wheel, there we go. On the mod wheel, you just bring that up. So I play my curves in using my controller, but there's nothing wrong with just drawing these in for a more exaggerated effect. So again, mod wheel use is really, really important because the different patches have lots of different sort of mod wheel assignments. And then the dripstones, I absolutely love these. I've turned them down out of the mix. I'm just going to bring them up a little bit. Just to make those a bit more interesting, I've added Pan Man. I'm a huge fan of Sound Toys. Pan Man, really, really quick. Sort of sweeping, one bar wide, but it just gives it a bit more interest. And there you have it, with an automated fade out on the stereo out. So are they really easy to use in terms of composing? Really, these instruments are, and you can spend such a long time experimenting and loading up a different instrument or a different articulation and just playing and playing for hours. I've got to admit, the piano, I just sat there for hours playing it, just, you know, improvising and having a lot of fun with it. And a lot of these instruments work in exactly the same way. You could just spend ages playing, building as many different textures as you want and sounds, and just experimenting. And that's the whole point of this library. I did see somewhere online that someone said, oh, it's just a one finger Netflix library, which I didn't quite get the comment, because obviously it takes a lot of compositional skill to compose music. But in terms of, if you had to create these articulations from traditional libraries, it would be virtually impossible. You could recreate some, but you're never ever going to get the irregularity, the creativity, the experimental nature that is given to you by Salu. So not only is it all of those things, it is so great to use. It's not so out there and so experimental that actually it sounds terrible and it's unusable. Every single instrument in this library has its place and can be used, can be utilized in lots of different ways and sound fantastic. So yes, it's a bit different, but who wants the same all the time when we can have these amazing sonic capabilities? So in terms of composing, absolutely brilliant. SINE player is a dream to work with. Didn't have a single issue with anything. And yeah, Salu, really, from a compositional viewpoint, is highly recommended. As a composing toolkit, it's phenomenal. To conclude, Salu is a fantastic library to work with. I love the fact that Orchestral Tools, they are taking all of their brilliant sampling expertise and they are making these creative libraries. I love how close and intimate this library feels, and it's experimental but not to the point where it's unusable. And if you're going to try and create these patches yourself from traditional libraries, it's going to be impossible. These are based on expert performances that have been expertly captured, and yeah, it's just an absolute joy to work with. You're not going to find these sounds anywhere else, and you've really got to weigh up, is this the kind of library you're going to use? For my style of music and really the music I release and get placed, this is going to be used, you know, virtually every single project I do for, yeah, the time being. It's just such a great library. It's really big, it's vast, there's plenty to choose from, and I'm only doing everything out of the box. When you start adding third-party effects, you can get really, really creative with this. So Salu, yeah, it's highly recommended, and I think Orchestral Tools really have knocked it out of the park. Thank you so much for checking out this review and the composing with of Salu by Orchestral Tools. If you like what you heard, please leave a comment and then check out our other videos. We're starting to populate our YouTube channel, so the Sampleist, and also our website, thesampleist.com, is starting to get some more content, and we're going to be sort of putting our news on, our releases, and of course all of our competitions that are upcoming. So plenty to do, and I just really want to thank you for visiting our channel again. It's very, very difficult getting a channel off the ground and starting from scratch, but with your support we really appreciate it. So please like, please subscribe, and I hope you've really enjoyed this video. Until next time, keep on making that music.